Everyone's there.
Okay, we all ready for our last meeting of the year? For this committee at least, and we've got a couple others to. Last meeting of the committee. Welcome, everybody. We got a full room here. Yeah, so we'll call to order the meeting, this meeting, community engagement committee. Approval of the minutes from last time. I'll have an opportunity to take a look at that. We have a motion to approve that.
So moved.
And on the second.
Second.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, citizens agenda. I didn't see anything on that list either.
Nope.
So we can move right along into our discussion items. We've got, so we've been working hard all year on this stuff. Maybe Amy more than anybody, but we've got a lot of things to share here, which is gonna be great. Maybe we'll start with, looking at, first thing on the list here is reviewing the designs we're gonna use on the marketing materials. Amy, can you maybe share what you got on your?
I can. Well, I have 5 different poster styles, if you will. Maybe I should just, do you want me to just pass them around, let people look at them?
Want to beat something or?
Sure. I have large, I have this size, and then I have the ledger size. Attendance matters. This one says research shows poor attendance can influence whether kids read at grade level or get held back. Missing school the first month can predict poor performance for the entire school year. 6th grade, chronic absence becomes a leading indicator that a student will drop out of high school. Yeah. As early as pre-K and kindergarten, missing school can cause a student to not be ready for the next grade level. And missing just 2 days a month will negatively affect a student's performance. So I have 10 of each of the 5 small, and I believe 10 of each of the 5 large. I didn't know what you said, 3 or 4, I think I went 5. So I have all of those here. I don't know who's taking those. The large ones were not very nice when I tried to laminate them. So they're laminated only on the back. We peeled it back off the front. And I used laminating pouches to do the smalls because they didn't seal it off. They do. Thanks.
Yes, they're beautiful. They're really eye-catching. They are.
I think the template was a good choice.
Yeah.
I tried to have an assortment of kids and nationalities and ages.
Yeah.
Like a whole smattering. So there's that. I was telling John, I did talk to Mandy Dallas, and I'm gonna have a small table at Tools for Schools and talking about attendance, and I have attendance bookmarks that kids can color. I'm working on a couple other things unfold. So yeah, and maybe something too, like I did some working on that maybe with phone numbers on it. I mean, I know we had those a while ago when we switched over the phone numbers, but so there's that. Thank you, Sarah.
Amy, you just put a ton of work into this, and
I did.
It feels like it's become a passion project for you or something. And
I don't know.
you just like designing things?
When
Amy
a board
loves
member
Canva.
emails you and says, "This is what I need," what do I say? No. Really? Really?
Yes.
Huh? I don't think so.
Okay.
But no, I'm good. It was, it was okay.
Cool. That's wonderful. Thanks for doing that. Welcome. So yeah, part of what we're going to decide here today is where do these go? And in a little bit, we'll project up on the screen about the locations we've talked about and look for some volunteers who can run things around to some places and deliver these for us. Cool. Okay, so we've got these, and the other ones we have are the big banners that we have not printed yet. We're thinking like 4 or 5 feet wide by 2 feet high or something to go outside each of the schools. We talked last time about a potential for a budget for these, corporate sponsors or something. Margot went to the foundation, and maybe can you tell us what you about that
Sure.
conversation?
So I went and since I'm on the foundation, we were talking about money that we've saved in different things. And so I asked for $3,000 and they provided it. So it's funded. Yeah, they were wonderfully gracious, explained our whole concept, what we're trying to do. So I said, provided them, we thought that, around $2,500 for the Sauk Valley Media Campaign and around 500-ish. I said it could be a little, short or more on each one. And all we have to do then is, once we get things set, I'll just purchase it through my P card. And then the foundation will reimburse the school district.
Great.
Lucky to have that foundation.
We are very lucky. Yes, they are very generous, and our teacher grants, as you know, that's upstairs with Vanessa, and she hunted for the best deals, and they saved about $3,000 on the teacher's grant. And I said, I think I know where I can spend that. And they were more than gracious. So
Glad you're in the right place at the right time.
That's
all I can
right.
say.
and we were doing scholarships, so they were super generous that night.
Right.
And I thought, now is the time to strike.
Okay, so I've got a local provider that I've talked to about getting a quote for these, and actually it ended up being less than what I thought it was going to be, so we'll be well under $500 for those, and we'll work on getting those printed up.
Beautiful.
And is that something we can work with maintenance on getting them
Mhm.
put up at the various locations?
Yep.
What was the plan on the signs? And these are just some of how many were we going to do total, or what was the deal?
So Amy, you printed up
I have,
10 each of the big ones and 10 each of the small ones?
yes, so I think is that
Sounds like
100, John? It's been a,
Yeah.
hey, it's been a long year. Yes, yes. I mean, I can make more. Joey, graciously bought this nice paper from Amazon for me.
All right, wonderful.
I mean, I can print more, I just won't laminate. Like I can laminate small ones, but,
Well, let's go through our list of what we're gonna put them up at.
Okay.
And then see if we need more, and
now for the banner. I think, did you fill me in? Somebody filled me in because I wasn't able to be at the last meeting. Were we using that long lavender one that said attendance is that what we were thinking?
yeah, let me pull up here on the. I think the one that we liked is conveniently at the bottom of the attendance matters page, which I don't want to steal his thunder, but I think it's this one here.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
75.
that one. Oh, I thought it was lavender, but yes, that one.
It is lavender.
Okay,
It's just a little weird on the.
okay.
And that's the one that we're gonna get and put at every school.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a purpley sort of color. It's different than the purple at the bottom here, but I'll show you in a close and personal. I'll do it on a screen. So it's like- So-
Not to mess up
Mhm.
that plan, 'cause I really like that banner, but would it be more to have something different at the high school? Oh, good
A different set of kids. Would that be possible, Amy, to get some?
Gosh, Kathleen, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can do that.
Here's the other thing, I'm wondering, is if we don't want to put down at the bottom the link that goes to the link on our website. That way, if Grandma Rose is driving by and wonders, well, I wonder what that is, and they can see a link, they may go home and look it up. Or anyone in our community, then we can put the link that's on our website and get them to it. Just a thought. Or a QR code.
Yeah.
That might be.
Other than remembering DPS
Yeah, I
slash
think
page
a
slash
QR code would
attendance.
be better.
All right.
Yeah.
Link might be hard.
There's no way to make those look nice.
Now, and if their chances are they're gonna be driving by, some might be walking by them, but
Yeah. That's true.
Pulling out a phone, snapping a photo of a QR code is not.
well, even with the website, I mean, so that may be very strategic then where we place them. So
Yeah,
they can maybe
in places
pull
that-
somewhere and then go do it.
Cause I'm gonna tell you, remember when this all started, I took a picture when I was up in Wisconsin.
Mm.
And I had to go back and like blow it up and it was hard and we couldn't read, where it all was. I think the QR code, that would have been a lot
Mhm.
easier.
Well, and immediately I'm thinking that fence right in front of where the students park in front of the cafeteria where they put always everything for like,
Yes. Where do
somebody
you
could
want it?
pull in there, get out of their car, take a quick thing and then pull right out again.
Do you want, like, who's controlling that? John, is that you? Like right there, you think?
It seems like that would make sense, where you could even overlap the books a bit, a little bit bigger.
Okay. It's Kathleen, I was just kidding, but really seriously, it's not a big deal. I can do like little kids if you want little kids. These look, I don't know, I just thought these looked like generic kids to me, but
Yeah, they're just a nice mid-range.
yeah, they're mid-range for
Yeah.
sure. But I can do high school and I can do little if you want. I can make 5 if you want.
I don't think 5, like those kids could be anywhere from second grade to 5th grade, don't you think, if you really look?
So you go, okay, so that would be Jefferson and Madison. So we
Don't-
want
don't
something a
forget-
little older you want Reagan High School.
Don't forget Dempsey.
I got them.
Okay, that
And
can
they're
be a
all
Dempsey.
Huh?
That can be a Dempsey.
Well, I think, because those look.
'Cause they go K-8.
Right.
Except for high school.
Yeah.
Do you?
I think so.
And do we
Yeah.
use our own kids
Agreed.
for high school? Do we ask 5 kids to get, you know what I mean?
Hey, Grace, you could get us 5 kids. 5 young adults, sorry.
Grace is like, I'm done, Margot.
We could get them in their cap and gowns on Sunday.
Huh?
Get them in their cap and gowns on Sunday.
Attendance matters.
Grace, you have to be in it though.
Oh, that's a cute idea. That's a good one. That was good.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But Grace, you have to be in it.
Okay.
Blank
I'll find you,
comes
I'll
in.
find you.
Yeah.
Who's got a good camera?
Kate, can you make a note to make sure he brings it? Come in and then ask him if he'll take one. If he can, if he is too busy, I'll have my John bring his camera.
You make me want to do little kids, come on.
Cute little.
Sure.
I do want some little pigtail girls.
Beautiful.
And Grace, we gotta have you in that since you represented on the committee. So think about 4 friends you want to
Okay.
pull in with you. We'll let you take care of that.
Okay, so looking at where we're going to put these things. The ones at the schools are pretty obvious, but these other locations in the community. We've got our list that we built. I think for me, is it a big one or a small one? And who's gonna go take it there? I like the idea of people in this room helping to do that. I don't know if we have other resources that we can go to, but maybe let's start and see if we can drum up. And also there's a question of, does it matter which of the 5 goes to each of these? And I
And
think
do we want one statement to say, hey, next year we're really pushing attendance, you know,
right.
like one scripted sentence to say these locations?
But we're not doing this till. Like August.
towards the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Right,
But I don't think we meet again until,
No.
right. So
Be good to have them out. In-person registration is the last Thursday of July. And that's on or near where Tools for Schools is. Do you have a date on that?
I think it's.
You have the August 7th, so somewhere between like August 1st and August 7th.
it's 1 to 7, somewhere in there. And so once we get close to that, I'll coordinate a reminder of some kind and call you, text you. And knock on your door and say, did you put the things out? We can even have a delivery party. It'd be so fun. I'll come pick everybody up and I don't know. Okay. Okay, so I think in general, we're going to say it doesn't really matter which of the 5 sayings that are at the bottom where they go. So, but other than that, it's do you want a big one or a small one? And then who will go? I already have a who. Okay. We've got 40 or so here. Does it make sense just to go through the list, or is there a
Sure.
better way to do this? Let's just rock and roll.
Maybe just break it up and,
I was gonna
you
say,
know,
how many are
first
there?
10 to so-and-so, next 10,
Okay,
you know. I will deliver places.
great. And does it matter to go to like, oh, well, I know somebody at this place, so it's easy for
Well,
me to
and-
talk to them or whatever. Kathleen, can we get you to deliver one to the library for
I
us?
think I
Wonderful. Great. Does it make sense to do like that, or just to say, just do a,
It
just
might,
do a batch?
it might,
Let's-
yeah.
let's see how
Because
fast
some
it
people
goes to
may
go
not
through.
want, may
Who's
have.
going to Bill and Dix?
Right.
I go to Bill and Dix all the time. I'm doing that.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll do Coffee Crush and.
Coffee Crush is on there.
I can do Red Apple, I know the owners there.
Great.
I can do Goodfellow.
Oh, man. hold on.
Coffee Crush.
I was just say, might as well just go down in order and
Yeah,
have
let's
somebody
go
yell.
over here and somebody say me. Okay.
I'll go
So-
Dion.
Dion's. Sorry, who said it? Lindsay?
Jenny.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. Okay, cost cutters.
I'll go there.
Say your name. That way.
Yeah, thank you. Great clips.
I'll go there.
Midas.
I will not go there.
Now that's a story, Gene.
They sold
Lindsay, thank you.
in Walnut, not like the old one.
Walmart. Who's doing Walmart?
I can do Walmart.
Great,
Mayor,
great. Thank you. Aldi,
Jenny,
County Market.
Jean,
Who's doing Oliver's?
Jean,
I could do Oliver, yeah.
Great. Arthur's.
I will Sammy,
Great, thanks, Sammy. McDonald's.
Grace, I got you.
Great. That place on Palmyra.
Yeah.
Baker Street,
Mayor,
Starbucks.
Margot,
Sorry. Great. Dunkin' Donuts.
Jenny,
It's going way better.
Great.
Here's Mary's Diner.
Jean,
Wonderful. Fresco on First.
I can do that one.
Kathleen.
Mhm.
Coffee Crush. You already said that.
Yeah.
Yep. Red Apple. Jeff already said that one. Library LL. Kathleen's gonna do that one.
Well, Kathleen.
Kathleen. Doctors and pediatricians. Okay, this is where we started getting a little bit. Let's skip those two for now. Just go on to Clarissa.
Jenny,
You, My Play
Jean.
Village. Jean, thank you. Culver's.
I can, Mayor,
Wonderful. Dairy Delight.
Jean,
More Tires.
Jean. I'm getting breaks tomorrow, so just.
Ken Nelson.
Mayor,
Southfield Autism Center.
Sammy,
A variety of banks. Skip that and go on to the next one.
I think we can get one.
You wanna do all of them?
I know. I
Mom's,
mean, I don't mind, but.
Mom's Diner.
Lindsay,
You, Crystal Park.
Jean.
Great. Mad Water.
I'm seeing a plan to your choices.
coffee and then alcohol.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, I guess. Mad Water, anyone?
I will tell you.
I can do math.
Okay. Lighting.
Yeah.
Goodfellas.
Sammy,
Okay, so we've got a couple now that we've got to break apart a little bit. Rayner,
Jean,
right? Raffle Attack.
is that still open?
I do not know.
I think it is, but I don't know. I don't know. Used to.
I don't know if it's still open.
I don't know either.
it is, I think.
Okay, you know, and I'll try to knock on the door and see what's happening. Any other factories around that we should, just Borg Warner,
I can do Borg.
right?
This says Raffle Attack is still in operation.
All right. Any other factories we should think about, a big employers?
How many Walmart, do you think we have a lot of parents at Walmart distribution centers?
I would say so, yeah.
really?
I can do that.
I'm on the US.
The Walmart distribution center.
Right.
Do you think we'd be allowed to hang it up though, since it's in Rock Falls?
Can't hurt five.
I mean, we have a lot of parents that work here, but do you think that that'd be offensive?
No, and well, they do say it's in public schools, you say you want to sell,
No.
but, okay. The hospital, oh, what's
Well, I
that?
guess they can always say no.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I'm on the
Okay,
board. I'm on the board there. I can do that one.
Great. The other, like, the,
Edwards Clinic I'll do because, well, which is now OSF, because they're right above Clarissa.
right, great, other urgent care.
Clarissa's a good one.
We got,
have
yeah, we
some?
got it.
We already have it down there? Oh, okay.
So when we say OSF, is like Lawless included in that?
Well, I thought I'd ask if they would mind
We would give
and,
them all.
yeah, see how many they need and how many they'd put them in.
Great, okay, I'm gonna break out the banks.
Are we foreseeing that I'm gonna need to print more?
I don't think, so, not at this
Okay.
point, there's only 50, and we've got you got us 100
I
already.
got you 100.
What about the Ready Care clinics, the Mercy and CGA?
I like that.
That's good.
I can do both of those.
Great, thanks.
Honestly, I have relationships with every single person at the banks,
Mhm.
so I could, it's not.
You're gonna do the
work for
banks.
me. I'll do the banks.
And you can shame them, Mary. Sauk Valley's got them plastered everywhere, so compete with us.
And also the why.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I can do that.
Lindsay, you got that?
Yeah. So.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna send us a list then.
I am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, no, I was going to say.
Yeah, right.
August
Should've said that
1st.
out loud. Thank you. I will, I'll. Okay. Wow. I was expecting
And
there to be a lot more.
then, are we gonna pick them up here? Where's the central spot?
You don't want
Yes,
them
we'll
now?
deliver them to you.
Will you find them in August?
I don't want them now.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid something would happen.
Yeah.
Will this building be openable
All summer,
All summer,
all summer?
except for Fridays.
For Friday?
except for
You
Fridays,
can't come on?
through June and part of July, but yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
mine down to the library though.
Is it fine to just stop by sometime during the summer and ring the doorbell and you'll be here and?
We'll make sure that whoever's here, if
Mhm.
we're not here, they know where they're at.
Great. Okay,
For everybody wondering, August 1st is a Friday.
Oh. So they're gonna be before then.
We're back on Fridays by that time.
Oh, okay.
By the end of July, we're back
Sorry.
in Fridays.
All of June, no Fridays. First 3 Fridays in July. After that, we're here.
well, I'll send you a reminder to pick them up
There you go.
sometime like
Thank you.
the last week of July between the 28th and 1.
Perfect.
If anything gets missed, I will do any of the late ones. I just didn't volunteer because I'm out of town for the entirety of August until school,
Okay.
but I'll take any remaining.
Wonderful. Okay, size question. Does it, number one, does it matter? Or do you want to, should we say, pick up what you think you'll use? Because I just want to say there's roughly 45 on here, and we've got 100. So if everybody takes big or small, I don't think we're gonna get in a situation where we run out. Does that seem fair, or do you want to try to like establish who's taking big instead of small before we?
We may need a couple more, and I'm just thinking, if everybody takes 2 with 48, there's almost your 100.
That's true.
And like OSF alone, I'm thinking that could be 5 or 6.
Might want some extra. Right.
As a souvenir, Kathleen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. we did.
Because I was gonna say, I'd like all of that size.
Maybe that's. Would you like me to sign that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like I'd probably take 6 large and 4 small for OSF. Well, they're going up with me if they're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
stay here, so.
Yes,
All right.
can you make us a few more?
You want large or small?
Yes.
Maybe like 25 large, 25 small.
Perfect.
Is that
Okay.
okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna laminate the large.
Good.
Do we want the smalls? I mean, I use pouch laminate. Do you want these laminated like this?
I think it'd be nice because I think a lot of those might go where people check out and they're gonna get a lot of
Yeah,
usage,
that's kinda what I
so,
thought.
yeah,
Okay.
good idea.
I'll laminate the small, but the big is just not gonna work.
No, That's
We
why.
should be cognizant of how we attach these in places. If we do it for them, a lot of times they'll say, yeah, go ahead, put it over there. If they didn't have a bulletin board or something, because you don't want to be ripping people's paint off their wall.
Right.
You know, what's the best tack to use? Something on the back, scotch tape makes a mess of walls and probably wouldn't hold this.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Because what we don't want is, oh, yeah, right, I know, they brought it to my building and what a mess.
What about that, that blue stick?
I use this
Yeah.
sort of thing, that seems good.
Like, we can give the option, like.
Do you see that blue dot on the right of the D?
You know, just have
Mhm.
fun, I guess.
Okay.
Could you hang
Just
this up?
kidding.
I was just gonna say, the blue tacky stuff, do you see the small blue dot to the right of the D? Blue tacky stuff.
Yeah. I think that's.
Okay.
Right, and so we don't
Oh,
want
it's
to-
You know what, people that come to the bank, they always ask me to hang it up.
They
Yeah.
do, okay.
So they
Because
always.
that's more respectful, I feel like,
Yeah.
you're asked, you know what I mean, like, you
That
spend
makes-
them
but
with
it's-
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, so it's, you know, if people, yeah, so.
Don't worry about that.
What I don't want is that they don't hang it.
I know.
Because that's, you're always taking that.
You are.
The other thing is, as you're delivering it, you know, explaining what we're doing, I think we've all been in enough meetings, we kind of know what we're doing, and
Yeah.
that. Thought about having like a little flyer to go with it to say, thank you for hanging this up,
That's
and
a good
explaining a
idea.
little bit.
That's a good idea, John.
Okay.
Even just.
Little postcard or something, to do that. Okay.
Amy, what? I was laughing at Simon.
Does you want Amy to do it, not John, or what?
She's really good at it. Does it,
Do you want
it is more work, so we're talking about having a little postcard to go with it, to kind of number one, say thank you to the business for having this in their space, and explaining what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Maybe that way, if they get any questions.
I had started a front and back pamphlet,
Yeah.
but I could put, got kind of stuck on what to put on each page.
Okay,
I
I
could make that.
think that'd be perfect.
Oh, thank you.
And if you want to share it with me, and we can kind of collaborate that way, and this time I'll actually respond,
Okay,
and we can
that'd be lovely.
sort out what it's gonna say.
Lovely.
Cool. All right, so what's gonna happen then is during sometime in the last week of July, I will remind you, first of all, though, I'll send out the list with who's gonna do what, so you'll know in the next couple of days what you've got. The last week of July, I'll send you, if you like an email, text message. Both, for me, it's text.
I'd say, Grace, your account's probably gonna be around, right, by now?
What I think I don't get is
just take it
phone numbers for everybody.
We should pass them around.
That's a good idea. So we're gonna pass around a sheet that's gonna ask for you for your phone number, so I can text you. And remind you that we're doing this that last week of July.
All right, so we were just talking, I have 5 different, well. The same one will go to Madison and Dempsey. I have a cute kitty one. We need to do the high school one. I shared it with Kyman.
Okay.
Who's sending him the picture?
Hopefully John Tate.
The high
If
school
not,
picture?
Margot has a backup.
Okay, all right. And then you're gonna get it from him, or how are you the
Image?
for the big long banner?
Yes,
How are we getting that taken care of?
you just send me the final images of whatever you get. Of the final, picture of this. Is that okay?
Is that okay? Sure, I
Hello?
guess.
What were you thinking?
I don't know what kind of file
Hmm.
your person's gonna want. So that's what, I was sending it to him, I was sharing it with him on Canva, are you on
Okay.
Canva?
Yep.
I'll share it with you on Canva,
That works.
okay, and then you're gonna upload the picture of the high school
Okay.
kids?
Let's see.
Grace can help you, not that Grace, your own Grace.
My Grace.
Very good with Canva.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, you don't come up with my
Right.
Canva though.
Wonderful. I'm not on the Dixon Public Schools, Ken, but if I have an account.
I don't know if it's just, oh, okay, well, figure this out.
Okay. Okay. I feel like that's it for these. We have identified our message, we've identified the reason for the message in the very beginning. We identified what our message is. We develop our message, we develop who we're gonna send it to, and we've got an action plan. We did good work. Okay, and the other way we're communicating here is with the website. So Kaiman has put this together. So basically from the very front page, as you can see here, just click on that menu button and then attendance matters is right here. 2 clicks, super easy to get to. Kaiman, you want to walk us through kind of what you,
Yeah, so, previously, the name was just, attendance awareness. We wanted to change that to match the brand, so it's now named Attendance Matters because on the majority of all our graphics, it says attendance matters on it. So that's what the website,
But I like,
the page is called.
I like the word matters because I think it means it matters or things pertaining to attendance. I think I like the play on word. So I like that.
The other change that we made, if you scroll down a bit, we changed this attendance facts graphic.
I made it on brand. It was a bunch of different colors before.
And it was very hard to read.
Yeah, I
So-
changed the font.
So we've updated it, so you can read it a lot more clear. The last change that we made was when you click the 4 symptoms that mean your child must stay home. We had from Attendance Works, we had, who was that? That we had in the, we had somebody
Somebody
else.
from Attendance Works. I pulled anything, if it's on here, I'm 99% sure I pulled it from Attendance Works.
But we changed it to Sherry Hafer, who's our district nurse. And this is what she sends out every year at the beginning of the year, correct?
Yeah.
To fill that space.
Are we still on 4 symptoms though? I just looked at that and thought of that. Cause I think
That was the latest and greatest from Sherry.
first said 4. I'm looking at the header, Jenny.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm with you, Amy. I think that header, we might, we
Was
should
it-
change what the title is. The old article was.
Had 4
entitled
things,
4
yes,
symptoms.
and I'm sorry, we,
But
Kyman and I did meet, but I didn't catch that.
so what are we, these are like when to keep your child home or something, when to stay home and when to send them to school. Is that what this is?
Yeah.
When to keep your child home?
Okay, so we can just change the 4
Yeah,
seconds
yeah.
to
Is
just
that right?
when
Yeah.
to keep your child at home. Okay.
Mhm.
Am I right? Well, that's what this is though, is when to keep it, get home.
Yes.
Consider keeping your child at home if they have a headache. Be home every day.
Is it,
Sure.
is it like all inclusive, that like it's supposed to be all?
Do you want us to take that out of there?
No, I mean, it's true. If
And the stomach, same
If
with
it's
the
a
stomach. ache, I'm
blinding.
like, wow,
It,
honey.
it may be, we could drop the consider section
Yeah.
and just keep your child at home if.
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
Because runny stuffy nose could be an allergy.
yeah,
Yes, I think that's a good idea, but I don't know if you can delete that, John.
I can't, but
I can.
kind of maybe
Kind of,
drop that section and then title the whole section, when to keep your child.
and maybe it's monitor your child if they have any of the following symptoms.
Well, we're gonna name it what now?
When to keep your child at home, I think is the title of the
Well,
section, and then we can have other information within.
Okay,
it.
Margaret just said monitor.
That's, I think
That,
Margaret was saying. this
Up
section.
on this,
Oh,
on
on
the
the
headache
header?
and that, yeah, because like I said, I mean, if you know your kid starts a headache and is prone to migraines, of course, you're
Uh-huh.
probably gonna keep them home, but like I said, we tell people to kind of power through. The parent will know their child best. And
I really am okay to get rid of that section.
So too, because people know minor symptoms, right? Maybe we don't.
yeah, I mean, the vomiting, the fever, the diarrhea, the ones that are the absolute need to keep home and keep an eye on it.
Well, and one thing we could run into is. Not saying they would, but parents could say, well, on the website, it says to
Right,
consider
right.
Yeah.
keeping my child at home and they have a headache, so
Now you're mad
why
'cause
are?
they're
So I
asking.
think just drop it.
So if we just get it out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get it out of.
I say ditch that.
Less words to read as well.
Got it. Cool. All right. I think this is great.
Mhm.
And then we've got our image down here that we'll add that QR code to that will send them to. Send them right here to this page. Wonderful.
And you do have something in there somewhere about that, you guys, the educators have mentioned often about even if you're late, you should still come, is that in there?
Mhm.
Overslept, get up,
I
go to
like that.
class.
Oh, yeah, the big print there.
Oh, I love
That
that
one?
kid.
Yeah.
That she's cute.
Just the idea that
She's
if they're
cute.
missing the beginning, they can still come later in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I've had kids say that to me.
Yes.
My alarm clock didn't go off, so my mom just said I could stay home.
Yeah.
Now, honey, you get here.
I like it.
Wonderful. Okay. We're powering through here. Okay, so. We finalized the webpage. We reviewed the budget, which exists now. And we reviewed our other materials. The last one on the list is the Stock Valley Media marketing. Anybody have any thoughts after the fact that we watched? That was last month that we had that. Had her here to check that out. Did that seem helpful, useful? Or maybe could somebody summarize for anybody who wasn't here? Grace, you weren't here, but was everybody else here that last month? Maybe, no, okay.
That's fine.
Basically, Stock Valley Media can do a targeted marketing campaign where people will see ads in Facebook, Snapchat, various, maybe YouTube as well, depending on their geographic location of where they're at. We could go all the way down to giving them a list of the addresses of children in school. And they have a way to know if a device connecting to the internet is coming from that location, then they'll serve up our ad to that person. Or we could just put a geo boundary and say within 5 miles of the city center of Dixon. And serve our ad up to them. The cost for that, I think, was around 2,000 or 2,500 or something like that to run a campaign for a period of time. She had a bit of information she left with us. So we have a budget now, and that has been approved by not approved, but has been given to us by the foundation that we could spend on doing that. Honestly, I guess I talked all big and bold, like I was sure we're gonna get money, but now I'm seeing that I'm a little surprised that this is actually gonna happen. Or at least ask the question, is that a way that we wanna, is that a good use of resources? Is it something we wanna do towards the beginning of the school year next year, or not?
Stupid question too. Does Sam Ramirez, do they charge for a radio ad or an interview, or
They don't charge for.
not?
I think PSAs, public service announcements, they can get us for,
John, I've done really good radio voice,
Oh.
like an interview with Sam or something. Steve Marco will do something.
Or something like
He
that.
does an interview.
Talk line.
Yeah, top line.
Mhm.
I can put this in as my beginning, as part of my beginning of the year radio interview.
Got one of those every year.
I do.
Okay.
Then.
I think it would be valuable to do. So we'll have all of this out there at the beginning or when people are registering. And I have found, it's funny about the 3rd or 4th day of school, we get a lot of kids that come into the library, that parents are bringing on, the teacher said, this is, the books that we need to read and the reading level and everybody's excited. And then it kind of goes like this, right? And so it's easy to send your kids to school, well, easier when they're really excited about school and they're meeting new friends, they're meeting their teacher.
And in March.
Yeah, so
Well, even October.
Right.
Like that's when it starts. to
we don't want them to go too far and develop habits, but maybe give it a month or so. And maybe mid-October, cause they'll have been in mid-August to, maybe beginning of October. To kind of hit it again and say, remember all those, I don't know.
How long was the campaign from
That's a good question.
We did talk about that too.
What
She talked about a school district. And she was kind of comparing that. She didn't really give us a link. She showed us an ad.
Oh, because if it's like 2 months, then we can decide when we want to start it and when it's gonna end, but I think that would, to make that decision on when we should start, but I think we need to know how long. it lasts.
Yeah.
Isn't it like 2 or 3 months?
I think you could dictate that. It was just the money piece of it.
Yeah, how much do you want to pay? And it's some kind of a paying per click or paying per impression, how many times they show that, the ad to people.
Margaret, you know, like you come on and you say, you do an all call and you'll say, due to the inclement weather, our schools are closed, whatever. What if you 4 times a year, just a reminder, parents, attendance matters, nothing else.
Mhm.
Just a reminder, parents, attendance matters. So you just keep bombarding.
I
the
think
parents
calls are a
with this.
bad idea,
Calls?
personally. I think parents decline, I decline them all the time. We're getting text messages,
From your
emails,
school?
and a call. Yeah,
It's just getting to be.
Because it
seems like
says,
so
it
much.
says Dixon Public School.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
too much.
No, yeah. when
Even
we-
a text.
Yes,
I feel
really.
like texts get ignored more often than phone calls.
Yeah, it's all too much. I think if we really want people to actually hear the information rather than get annoyed or decline it, I do not think calls would be a good
Yeah.
idea.
That's interesting, because at St. Mary's, they would actually call and say, we missed a call from school.
Yep,
Like, well,
we get that
listen
too.
here.
We get that
Maybe
sometimes.
that's the only parent that feels like that. Well,
Yeah, like
it's
you
the chronic, I'm not chronic, by the way. I know that this is not you, Sammy, but it's our kids that are constantly, for every period that they're truant, the parents are getting a phone call that they're not in class at the high school. So I'm wondering, or if they have a feeling great, once a week they get a call. So
That
What?
starts to feel like piling on after a while.
What if we used social media ourselves and had, gosh, not me, but somebody, like Margot. Sorry, I don't mean to pick on you or anything, but, or John or somebody, but like, I remember my daughter went to Oregon schools because I live out of town, but, Tom Mahoney was the superintendent there and he'd get on like on Facebook and he'd sometimes have question answer, sometimes he'd just give a little spiel and it was just a little video. What if we just, I don't know. I see when somebody's mad about something, I see 9 million comments on Dixon Public Schools Facebook, so I know people look at it, dang it.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's use it
Hmm.
to, I don't know, use it to our advantage.
Yeah,
Let's,
I think that's a really great idea because I don't know if any other person who uses social media has seen this. I'm getting videos in my feed every day on Instagram where parents are like, they're doing this dance and like singing this song about like, the schools aren't gonna tell me that my kid can't miss any more days of school.
I've seen that. It's
Yeah.
infuriating.
Yeah,
me.
so I think that would be, a good way to have an alternative, but that's huge on social media.
Does it have to be serious?
Huh? No, that's. A legal
Started trending TikTok.
Set it up.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Those are always so funny.
Yeah.
It's extremely
It's ridiculous.
disturbing. Yeah.
I think we can all learn to dance and do it ourselves for them, like, okay, we're gonna tell you.
Yeah.
How to treat your kid.
Right.
Oh, yes, we are.
Yeah. Well, I do know, Discover Dixon, who does have the largest social media like outreach network, does have, they do have a PSA piece. They do have like what they call like, I think for nonprofits and organizations that they partner with. So that would not be, that'd be another channel. You can potentially push that out for free. I think, yeah, it's
Yeah.
for free.
If we spent $2,000, what are we pushing out? Videos, flyers, like, like a page ad?
No, they were video ads.
Yeah,
And
they're-
then they
and they're
were
gonna make
radio,
them?
they were voice, like radio,
Like
voice
voiceover.
ads, yeah.
yeah, or like in a podcast, in the middle of a podcast. Remember, it could be like a little PSA, that, you know, instead of Denise furniture.
We
Or
do a little
whatever it
10-second
is.
ad.
And they're gonna make them for us?
Yes.
Okay. That's intriguing, but.
Yeah. It
But
also
still.
strikes me that we might as well do the route of social media, like our own social media, where we've got a lot of channels where we
Yeah.
can broadcast things. It is easy to throw money at a thing and say, hey, put this message out there. It is easier than having our own people do it. And I suppose if we want to have our own people do it, we have to ask, well, then who is that? Our own
And we
people
have
to
a
do it.
broadcasting club at the high school. I mean, for one of the
Sure.
football games, they had 800, close to 1,000 viewers.
Hmm.
Granted, it was a Bayern game,
Okay.
but I mean, wouldn't it be nice to run an ad, you know, in the middle of that, you know,
As long as they have the script, they'll read it when there's a timeout, when there's anything, because they've done it for,
and
you
they do
name
our
it.
basketball games, they do our wrestling. I mean, they do, I don't know if they don't do track. I don't think so.
No, but they did the awards assembly and they did the athletic signings.
It's phenomenal. Charlie Bishop, I
Yeah.
think, kind of oversees it, but it's really student led. Like these kids are really taking it on and doing it themselves.
It's a great idea, and getting to collaborate with the school in some kind of way, so kids are actually developing. that.
Yeah.
It's what we're talking about here is social media marketing, is what we want to do, and developing content to be put out. And a broadcasting club could be a way to do that. There's a publications class. This is a kind of a publication, right?
It could definitely go in like the newspaper for
Yeah.
school, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It's my idea.
For me, the what we need to do is generating the content, and who's gonna be content creator? Are there groups at the high school that might,
We have writers club, we have a digital media club.
okay, this would be a great project for them, just can you create some content for us to use for?
What's Charlie's 3 weeks?
I was gonna ask, is this
They
like,
just
so
did
what
the
we're
Dixon
adding, is
Live.
it gonna be different than what this poster
Which was
is?
pretty much exactly.
Is it a still image of a thing? We could have like some kind of a short video clip,
Got it.
something's gonna show up in a reel somewhere, or
Grace,
So-
what is the going, where do we go for social media for student wise?
Me personally, yeah, I would say either like TikTok or Instagram. I'm on Facebook, but I know a lot of kids are not on Facebook.
Right.
Um,
Majority of
but-
the students I see are on Instagram.
But
Yeah.
also, like, I don't, me personally, I feel like the school's Instagram, like there's only a few likes usually on the Dixon Public Schools Instagram compared to the Facebook.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it could be like on the broadcasting Instagram too, and like the connecting Instagrams maybe can all share the message.
Yeah, cause like parents follow the official school page.
Yeah.
Kids follow the club pages and not the official page.
Right.
Mhm.
Because they know when school's canceled, they're worried about the funny videos their friends are making.
So is our content different that we're pushing out to kids as opposed to parents?
Yes.
yeah, so
Especially high school.
we're now getting into a
Next year.
lot of work. Well, that's what I'm starting to think is next year. This is a lot of work of creating content, and who's going to do that? Right?
And maybe we invite like Charlie Bishop to our first meeting next year, who leads.
Yep.
The, I can't think of the group, digital media slash.
Bob Went runs the
And Bob
broadcast
Went
club.
does the broadcast
Yeah.
club.
What is Charlie?
He does the digital media class that just produced the first episode of the Dixon Live, which
Which
is
people
on
are so
the
excited about.
YouTube
Yeah.
broadcast club. You can watch it right now.
Yeah,
I haven't heard much about it. They should definitely.
they just did it today.
First episode
They
today.
went live today at 11, and now it's
Okay.
up on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Great.
I
And
might
if-
be alone in this, but I really don't think we should forego the Sauk Valley campaign. I think it lends a certain importance, like, this is a big deal. This isn't
Yeah.
just something else the school is pushing. I
And they
don't-
have they have the ability, is it called geofencing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have the ability to geofence and grab particular, areas at particular times that we do not have.
Sure.
So,
August.
So if we met with Sauk Valley, I don't know, this feels like another one of those committees to start out maybe.
Mhm.
The whole group of us meeting with Sauk Valley Media again might be a lot of decisions, you know what I mean, I don't know, I don't know what this.
Another way to look
process
at this is, the foundation gave us $2,500 to do this.
Yes.
And it's probably true that I'd feel a little bit weird about saying, okay, thanks for 2,500, but we're actually gonna spend it on this over here
Yeah,
instead.
right.
We went to ask for a certain thing. So we could say Sauk Valley said, yes, I'd be willing to meet with them sometime in the next month or whatever. Anybody else who wants to come along with, great. And say, yes, we'd like to do this. Let's talk, hammer out the details. They've done this a whole bunch of times, so I
Yeah.
imagine they know. They want to do
Yeah.
it in a certain way.
I'll do that. Sit down if you-
You'd sit down and do
Yeah.
that, great. And if anybody else wants to come too as well.
Sure, I'll.
Great, cool. Great, well, let's go that route then, and I'll set up a call with her, talk to Jennifer, find out a time we can meet with her and rock and roll.
And it wouldn't preclude some of these other things.
No, I think, we-
That too.
I honestly think that stuff's gonna be more powerful in the end when it's coming on a whole bunch of channels. And I really like the idea of getting student groups involved for content creation. I think this is actually education of the future. There's gonna be a lot of jobs around content creation. And getting people in the habit of doing that and practice with that. I don't know where that can go. But that feels exciting.
Well, it's interesting. I just had this conversation with Discover Dixon today too, because they have a younger intern that does all the TikTok reels and all the whatever, and
They're so good.
they're trendy. I mean, the one they just created for Reagan Run is awesome, but it's, you can look at the analytics to see all of a sudden the engagement totally different than what they had before. So you're getting a diverse audience, you know, so if you have something that's, I don't know, I think that's beneficial to have students come in and.
Yeah.
I don't know what's cool, but.
They would discover Dixon.
Yeah. Maybe, they might.
Those videos are really good. They're fun.
Follow them now. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Look at the Mayday basket one.
Maybe that's a good one, okay. And
No, I
I'm gonna check out
Yeah.
Is it?
the Dixon Live. This is a new
It's
thing.
very cool.
Okay,
Yeah, we just got the email today.
okay,
I'm sharing it with you,
all right,
with
great.
the board.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the board meeting. Having some of these to share with, is that okay to pass these around to the board tomorrow and?
Sure.
and give-
I'm leaving him here, so
Okay,
yeah.
great. Wonderful. Good show. Cool.
So John, you're gonna reach out to Jennifer?
John's gonna reach out to Jennifer. Yes, I am. And set that up for sometime in the next couple of weeks. And then with the idea that we would run that kind of over the same time frame. If we're talking about 2 or 3 months, we try to go from, I don't know, mid-August to.
It's still gonna stay with us.
I think it's meant for like a high school like member, so, I think it'll be really good, hopefully, to get 2 new members to come and join you all for next year, especially with like the content creation, maybe some people from those clubs who, you know what I mean, maybe a digital media member and a broadcasting.
We should
member.
probably cupcakes and cake for you.
Yeah.
I know.
I know it.
You're graduating something else now, right?
No, yes, but thank you all so much for having me for the last 3 years. I really love being here and learning all from all of you and your different walks of life and businesses we work for. So thank you.
Remember, you need to come back and get a job here, so
Yeah, there's some, like, facts.
Ken here.
I'll go ahead and start the contract.
yeah.
All paper. All right. And then as far as our next meeting goes, Aaron, do we have it? I saw it's TBD on the agenda.
It would be Tuesday, August 19th.
I'm thinking Tuesday, August 19th. How's that sound?
And then one thing I'd like for us to start thinking about is how we're gonna measure it. How are we gonna know if it's effective? I know that the analytics will come from Sauk Valley Media and letting us know, and we can see shares and likes and comments and different things from stuff that's ours. But anything else, how are we gonna measure, is it working? Because then if we pick another, area that we want to focus on, well, we found great success with you know, broadcast club or whatever, we know where then we need to target future. And I can share it also with principals on, like you said, we don't want parents ignoring phone calls. So how do we get messages out more effectively?
Yeah, there's two different kinds of success we're talking about here. One is, do we move the needle on getting more attendance actually, right?
And we
In-
can run that from our own
we know how to do
systems.
that. But there's another kind of success though, that is, are we engaging with the community well? And yeah, that's the kind of thing that we'll be able to look at the different kinds of
So
ways.
do
we're
you
sending
think
this.
instead of a new topic for next year, like we should focus on that? Like, kind of. like,
I think
thinking
both
and
the, you know, doing the analytics of things when we know they've gone out in different times, and then also the content creation as we talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
I think that would be, yeah, that would be good. That would be.
Yeah, that's the last bit, is thinking about what are we gonna kind of tackle for next year? Done this each year. We've said, okay, what are we gonna do for next year around it? And now it's time to start thinking about next year. I really like this content creation idea.
Yeah.
It is community engagement.
Yeah.
Hardcore. So let's put that in the back of your head and think about over some of what ways can Dixon Public Schools engage with the community. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Super fun.
Everyone.